Noli Tangere, published in Berlin 1887. It all started in Madrid, Spain, in the year 1884, where Rizal started writing his first novel while studying medicine. He kept writing and writing. However, the friars kept disturbing and halting his process. That is why Rizal traveled to places which he could write in peace and eventually ended up in Germany. In 1886, Dr. Jose Rizal arrived in Germany. He first stayed in Heidelberg, where he studied ophthalmology under the renowned Dr. Otto Becker. He then moved to Leipzig and Dresden before finally settling in Berlin in November of that year. However, Berlin was not kind to Rizal. He faced extreme poverty, often skipping meals and lacking proper winter clothing. He lived in a small, cheap boarding house owned by Frau Müller, a kind German lady who occasionally checked on his well-being. In letters to his family, he wrote of days when he survived with only bread and water. Yet, despite these struggles, Rizal remained resolute in his mission. He tirelessly worked on editing and revising his manuscript, often spending long hours in libraries and bookstores, immersing himself in German literature and culture. However, his dedication came at a cost. Malnourished and weak, Rizal suffered from illness, but he continued to work, determined to complete his novel. When Rizal finally finished his novel, Noli Tangere, a new challenge arose, finding a publisher. Many rejected his manuscript due to its controversial nature, and the cost of printing was beyond his means. Just when he was about to give up, salvation came in the form of his friend, Dr. Maximo Viola. Viola, upon seeing Rizal's desperate situation, generously lent him 300 pesos to finance the printing. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Rizal gifted him the very first printed copy of his novel as a token of appreciation. Finally, in March 1887, the novel was printed at Berliner Buchdruckerei Aktiengesellschaft with 2,000 copies produced. Rizal personally reviewed and corrected the final proofs, ensuring that his message would reach his fellow Filipinos. As copies of Noli Tangere made their way to the Philippines, the reaction was immediate. Spanish friars and government officials condemned the book as heretical and subversive. The colonial government banned it, and the Filipinos caught in possession of the novel faced severe punishment. But Rizal was not without support. He had friends and mentors who believed in his work. His Austrian friend Ferdinand Blumentritt encouraged him and praised his efforts. In Berlin, he became a member of prestigious European societies such as the Anthropological Society and the Ethnological and Geographical Society, which allowed him to connect with scholars and intellectuals. Among those who guided him were Dr. Friedor Hager, whose writings on the Philippines had influenced Rizal's nationalist views, and Professor Rodolph Virgil, a renowned scientist who supported his academic pursuits. Despite all the hardships he faced in Berlin, poverty, rejection, and illness, Jose Rizal emerged victorious. His novel, Noli Tangere, became a spark that ignited the flames of the Philippine nationalism. It awakened the consciousness of his fellow Filipinos, planting the seeds for the eventual revolution against Spanish rule. Though Rizal was thousands of miles away from home, his words traveled across the seas, inspiring hope and resistance. His sacrifices in Berlin would not be in vain, for his novel would go on to change the course of Philippine history forever.